Now the heat shield is installed. It's time to install the little front fiberglass tray. But before you do, you're gonna take a utility knife, a good sharp one with a new blade, and you're just gonna cut around about, I don't know, 3/8 to a 1/2 inch around, all the way around the whole inside. And it'll cut right through any way you wanna cut that on a table or somewhere. You can cut it in place. Only problem is you got this wire harness right here and you sure don't wanna hit that. So it's best to cut it when it's out. There's actually a zip tie around it. You can see the zip tie back in there. It's got a white little surround around it. You want to clip that zip tie loose. You'll probably miss it when you drill the hole, but just to be safe, I'm going to tell you to move it. This left side, it's kind of tough to get it to start right on that corner. But it went right through. Okay, now, once you get started on this hole, you want to go around on the inside and make sure you're not about to get any wires or anything. Well, I have determined that it's better to put this second hole on the driver's side a little bit further to the right. Unclip that little wire harness. I think it's for the LED lights that comes across right under there. So you want to pull that out of the way just to make sure, even though I know you would miss them, we just want to be safe. So I'm going to take my drill and I'm going to come in about 2 inches from the main wire harness. Now I don't want to punch it through. I'm going to barely get it started more to the top there. You can use the actual frame member up there to keep it from sliding to the back. But it's real easy to get it started. Once you get it through the drill bit part of it, angle it just a little bit towards the driver's door and just slowly cut through it. It really doesn't take much at all because it's very thin, and I'm holding it with one hand. So see, I'm already through. Notice I did not let the drill bit keep going through there. I just punched right through there. Now I can see all the way to the floorboard on the driver's side. So that's where our 2 air inlets are gonna go. What we're gonna do is we have a piece of insulation that we're gonna close this off. If you don't close this off, the bottom of the air ram will get super hot and it'll warm the air as it comes in. We don't wanna do that as much as possible. If you'll notice, once this is stuck down, it's bent up all the way around the edges. So it seals down on the bottom and bends up and seals the top. This can prevent any hot air from coming up under the scoop and entering the chamber. After we get our holes bored through the firewall, make sure we get everything pulled out of the way, we're going to take the longest tube and it goes to the driver's side. You want it angled up when it goes in the hole, so we're just going to feed it right through. We're going to take our second one, we're going to straighten it out some. Same thing with the curve going upward, we're going to feed it through. Might have to go around and help pull it through. Once you get these hoses through, you want to just kind of get a good little arc going on them, get them bent to the front. Just to shape them a little bit. Once they get in there, wedged in there, they'll hold their shape, but it's best to just bend them. Once you install the air ducts, now you're going to install the summer base, and it has the air intakes already mounted on it. We're going to slip the back underneath the stock hood mounts, and they just slip right up in underneath it, and we'll slip back in until you get these two screws lined up. And then once you do, go ahead and start these two, and you're not going to tighten them all the way up. You're just going to get them started. Okay, now once we get everything lined up here, we're just going to snug these down. Now, I'm just snugging them by hand. I'm not even pulling out the star wrench, just because it's not needed yet. Once you get it mounted in place, and these two screws are not tight, they're just snugged up. Now we're going to install the air ducts into the air intakes. To do that, we're going to get a good little bend going. We're going to just push it up in there like that. I would remove the air filters before you install this part. Once you get it pulled up enough here, now we're going to put a zip tie right here, and we're going to put a zip tie right here on the hose. It's best to remove the air filters. These come with some filter foam filters. If you're riding in the dust, you can install them. They're real easy to install from the front. They will cut the airflow just a little bit, so I usually don't use them unless it is dusty, but to get them, you just pull that out, pull them back out, and just stick them in your door bag or something. If you get in the dust, it take a second to get out and install them. We'll cut the airflow a little bit, but you won't have any dust coming in the cab. Now once you get these two attached, you can just go ahead and kind of twist that back to the front. So you'll see it kind of comes in and turns, but everything is attached there, and it's going to stay like that. That just keeps these face more forward. Now once the base is installed, this is what you'll be looking at. I'm going to go ahead and install my filters right now so I at least know where they are. We'll put them away later if we don't want to use them. Next, after we have the air intakes and the hood scoop base is all set in place, these two bolts still aren't tight, they're snugged up just a little bit. We're going to install the functional air fins, or air foils you can call them, and they allow you to either get full air into the air intakes for the floor vents, or you can turn them to the side and funnel more air to the center and cut about 30% of the air to the air intake for the floor. So they're functional, you can adjust them. I usually keep them straight, but I've tested them both ways, and this really does cut it down a pretty good bit, but it adds air to the center. So if you think you're going to be going a little more slow and you're going to build up a little heat over time, you can funnel them and get more air to go in there. Or you say, hey, I like it like that, you can always get out and loosen that up real quick. They're sitting on top of this metal, so they're not scrubbing the bottom, so you can actually move them a little bit while it's snugged up. But the way this is designed is so as the air comes up and compresses up the hood, it comes across, and the scoop has already trapped it now. So it can't go up and it can't go out. So what happens is it hits this where it curves down and it catches negative pressure and it just automatically pulls the air down. So once those are installed and sitting about where you want them, now we're going to install the cap. Once we successfully installed all 4 of our bolts by hand and given them several turns, now it's okay to use our Allen wrench to spin them on in. You don't want to tighten any of them all the way yet. You're just going to tighten them a little bit at a time like you would anything else. Okay, now you're going to get your fins straight. They're adjusted just like you like them. Get your air intakes in there right. Once those 2 fins are adjusted straight, then we just snug them up. As best as you snug it to pull up on the outside a little bit to get this seated right. Just pull up on it a little. That one he's got cut a little short. But now that you got it there, now you want to give it a slight bump to the back. You'll make sure everything is lined up. Slight bump to the back, and then you can snug the back ones on up. And again, you don't over tighten it. You just, till you feel it kind of getting snug, that's good. You don't want to over tighten them. Same thing on this side. Okay, now on the fronts, they're pretty much snug already. There you go. Now we can tighten down our bottom 2 bolts. Once you get the air ducts down into the cab, they're a little bit stiff, but you can still turn them how you want. If you really want to turn them up more, it's real easy to take your propane torch and just shoot it inside of it. And I'm trying to hold the camera because nobody else can fit in there with me. You don't want to catch it on fire, but just do that a couple times. Do that a couple times, it's real easy to bend. Then you can bend it right, get your bracket put on it, and then once it cools off, it'll be facing more like you like it. Get the air duct pulled down through, you want to slip the bracket over it with the bend going facing towards the back, and then you'll just take and you can use a screw gun or screwdriver. I'm not going to disconnect this one because it's already like that, but you'll just screw it to the side of the plastic. This end tip, you can blow the air down, you can turn it, blow it over to the side, you can blow it to the inside onto the console, you can blow it more up at you. And then if you want to shut it off, we have some caps that you just install over the top of it. But really, you can't really even see it once it's up in there. I've heard some people say, oh, it don't look too good because of the hose, but you don't really see it that much.